Hey, it's Ashley at Hedrick Homestead. Welcome back. We're the channel that helps homesteaders, whether you're just getting started or you've been doing this for a while, with practical resources and tips. And today I'm gonna be walking through daily care for our chicks. So let's get started. So here I am in our brooder, and a common question I get asked is how much time does it take to take care of your chicks? And taking care of baby chicks is actually way easier than you would think. So there are really three things that you need to do in order to keep your chicks happy and healthy. Number one, they need water. Consistent, constant access to fresh, clean water is very important. And I use an automatic nipple water for this. It's so simple. You can check out the video to how to build one yourself and the different things and tools and supplies you're gonna need. Once I get this set up, my daily chores for watering the chicks literally just involves checking the water to make sure it's still working. So taking my hand, pressing on the nipple to make sure water is still flowing, making sure water is coming from the hose into the bucket with the float valve, and just making sure the whole process looks smooth. So it literally takes like 5 seconds to check, which is so nice. I never have to deal with watering the chicks. It's really quick and easy. So step one, water, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe? All right, that brings us to step two, feed. To feed the chicks, I have a bucket of feed, a big garbage canister right in the brooder within easy reach of my 2 feeders. And I use hanging feeders. Part of the reason why I love to hang my feeders and use nipple waters is to keep everything clean. Recently recorded a video on some creative ways to keep your feed and water clean, so you can check out that one for more tips on that. But all I have to do is scoop feed into the feeders when they're empty or low, which is every few days. I only feed my chicks, and right now I have 60 of them with 2 feeders, probably every 3-4 days, something like that. So I just fill their feeders when they're empty, and that's that. Now, every couple days, I like to throw in some chick grit on top. All chickens need grit in order to digest their food. It's the chick food is pretty well ground up, so it's not like, you know, oh my goodness, they need this to survive. But I like to give it, it helps them digest things a little bit more easily. So I have this very fine chick grit. It's just a rock, and I sprinkle it probably 3 times a week on the inside of their feed container. And that, they'll just peck and eat that. If they don't want it, they'll peck and eat just the food. Super simple. So in order to feed them, it takes me about a minute every few days. Super fast as well. So water, step one, takes like 10 seconds a day. Feed, a minute every couple days. And that brings us to step number 3, bedding. And if you put down a good solid layer of bedding in the beginning, you probably don't even need to add bedding throughout the 3 weeks that they're in the brooder. What I do is, if it gets like that sort of crusty, manure-y, poopy layer on top, I just take my feet and I kick around the bedding to sort of stir and mix it in. And that brings the fresh bedding that's on the bottom up to the top and stirs the manure into the bottom. And that's all I have to do. Now this time, I only started with 1 bag of bedding, which is really small for our giant brooder. So I will have to add bedding because there's like no bedding under our water right now, and a very thin layer in the other areas. And so that is something that I'm gonna have to add this time. But for now, I've just been stirring it, and they're already a week old, so they're 30% of the way through their brooder time, and the bedding is still looking pretty good. Granted, they do most of their pooping the last 2 weeks in the brooder, so we still got a long ways to go. I'll definitely have to add more. But even if you do some brooder management like 3 times while they're in the brooder, and it takes you an average of 2-3 minutes a time to kick up some bedding, again, not a lot of time at all. So as you can see, taking care of chickens in the brooder, or little baby chicks, is super, super simple. I just keep my eye out, make sure that nothing is looking wrong. Of course, when you're first getting your brooder set up, you do want to make sure things like your heat are working well, that they're not too hot or too cold, which I'll do another video on that in the future, how to see if your chickens are too hot or too cold. But you can check out my how to heat a brooder video with talking about heat lamps and heat plates and things like that if you want more information on heating. But really, daily stuff, it's really those 3 things: water, feed, and bedding. And if you've got those down, your chicks will be happy and healthy on a daily basis. So, as you can see, it's really, really simple. The last bonus step that I always like to do is to hold and snuggle a chick. They only stay babies for so long, so add that to your daily to-do list. All right, hope this gives you a little bit of insight into how easy it is to take care of baby chicks, and let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. See you next time.